Hi, MInesh Baxi here, and I love young entrepreneurs because they have an energy and they have a perspective, they have some experience in areas that the other people may not have. And that energy enthusiasm is something we have here in Ashley Williams. Ashley, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And again, here is what I love. You have, at a young age, decided to pick your area of expertise outside of a typical 9 to 5 curriculum, right?
Yes.
Isn't that pretty much what most people do?
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking like I would be doing that for a while, and then I got, bitten with the entrepreneurship bug.
And then that's exactly what happens.
Yes.
You can't escape it. Once you have it, it's hard to leave that, right? So let me ask you here, how did you end up making this transition? Because obviously it's never automatic, right?
Yeah, and I think part of my journey was really focusing on like the gems that I was getting along the way that made me feel like this was what I was supposed to be doing, the synchronicities of life.
Wow.
So while I was working on Rizar, and I had been for a while when I was going into producing, my background is a journalist by trade. Then I went into being a reporter for USA Today, and I was covering some stories on technology and also just reading a lot of books, more research around this industry that I focus on with content creation. And at the time, we entered into this competition at Harvard. It was a lean startup competition. And I randomly just applied thinking nothing of it, like that we probably wouldn't get in. We did, and we ended up getting second place.
Wow, congratulations. Yeah. And this is a national competition.
Yeah, it was a national competition. Thank you.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
And you said lean startup.
Yeah.
So tell me what that means.
I guess the very basic, like the very, very beginning of the company. Yeah. And really the embassy of the company.
Yes.
Fetus at the time, I would say.
Hey, I totally agree with you. And you obviously gave birth, and here it is, right?
Right.
And that's a good way to put it. I appreciate that. So obviously, there is some specific nature of work you do in the content creation. So tell me a little bit about how you help clients.
Yeah, the main goal with working with Rizar is we focus on the niche area of millennials and Gen Z. And right now, as you can imagine, so many companies are scratching their heads right now trying to figure out not only how do you get their buying power, but how do you talk to them? How do you build loyalty with them? They're just like, at odds with it. So we really wanted to build the relationship with brands between those two generations. So we have content creators on our platform. We currently have over 5,000.
Wow.
Many of them create all different forms of types of content, but particularly articles, videos, podcasts, and photos is what we focus on. And so we help brands by connecting them to these content creators, and they are given guidelines, rules around the content, and they submit it through the platform, and then the brands are able to use it across their marketing or social media.
Wow. So you are basically kind of connecting, like a portal.
Yes, exactly.
For people who are providing the content
Exactly.
and people who can use the content.
Exactly.
And that's excellent.
Thank you. And we focus on the niche area of conscious content, which is a concept that we created really on social impact and purpose-driven content, because we find that that's what millennials and Gen Zers really value from companies. And additionally, we take that information from the content and use it for companies as data, so they can see how do they change their products or services, how do they incorporate more recruiting efforts, all the things that they're looking for when connecting with those two demographics.
So who are you looking for when I say, okay, you're looking for content creators, but you're also looking for companies who want to use and leverage that content.
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about your marketing and getting client process.
Yeah, really what we found is looking at the news of what's going on, brands who are articulating that they're having a really hard time reaching millennials, or there's a drop in that audience. And so then we reach out to those brands and say, hey, I've seen that you were talking about this. How can we, let's see how we can help you. What are you looking for? And so that's really how we begin the conversation. A lot of it's also been, especially in Michigan with our customers, word of mouth, and that's led to other relationships. So we're really thankful for the opportunities that we've been able to receive.
Interesting. Very good. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what your next vision is. Where do you want to go next?
Yeah. So the next phase of the company, we'll be focusing on redeveloping our minimum viable product. We'll also be really building out our machine learning and artificial intelligence technologies with the concept of the conscious content and scaling, just continuing to get more creators and more brands and hopefully making a bigger positive impact.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Thank
At a
you.
young age, you are definitely making things happen.
Thank you.
Now, you like speaking as well, correct?
do.
So tell me a little bit about your interest in speaking.
Yeah, I really love talking to all different types of audiences. As you can tell, I'm trying to calm my excitement down talking about this topic. But I love speaking to people about my generation and Gen Zers because I think there's really not this whole like mystic thing with us. It's really just about building a relationship, and that those values is what something is that we respect a lot. So I love talking about that. I love talking to other young people about getting into entrepreneurship. I mean, it's been very painful at times. I'm not gonna lie.
We talked about childbirth, right?
Right.
So let's not.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be there, right?
Exactly. So, but what you birthed in the process, though,
Yes.
in the end, is it seems to be much more worth it. And
Not only
rewarding.
it seems, it is. I've been a
Yeah.
business owner for 20 years.
Yeah, it's
and I have a
amazing.
great life. I enjoy time. I homeschool my children.
It's amazing.
My children are 16 and 12 years old. My daughter is 16. My son is 12.
Wow.
And we are able to travel. We are leaving actually in a couple of days to go to India for a couple of weeks.
Much
My family is
fun.
there. My children haven't seen Taj Mahal, so we'll get to go see
fun.
that. We'll also go to Amritsar, which is the place for Golden Temple,
So much
which is
fun.
the hub for the Sikh religion. And I used to live in that area for 4 years. So they'll be able to enjoy that and so on and so forth. We have been to Disney World 200 plus times. So I'm saying that
much
not
fun.
to brag,
No,
but I'm just
but-
telling you that anybody
right.
who feels entrepreneurship
Yes.
may not be worth it. Well, if you're willing to put in the effort,
Yes,
it's
the,
worth it.
The freedom and
Yes.
the opportunity and how like the abundance minds, all of those things. That's so
Exactly.
wonderful.
Exactly. So what are some of the tips you would give to somebody who is looking to create a business or just get started on the journey?
Yeah, I would say I think a lot of it has been like a lot of personal development. I think they always say your business is a reflection of you.
Correct.
And I think a lot of it has been my mindset. I think entrepreneurship, to be from what I can see, is 90% mindset and
Yes.
10% execution.
Yes.
Only because the mindset part is what will help you with intertwining
Correct.
the execution. But if you don't know yourself, you don't understand what you're good at, what you're not good at, just how you can grow into that and having a growth mindset, then that's going to really be the biggest limit. So I think, especially the last 2 years, I would say I've been really focusing on my personal development a lot more and reading a lot more, connecting with mentors, people who, like yourself, who have so much experience.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. And I also think a lot of it has to do with understanding the market really well. I think sometimes people want to scale very quickly, but I think understanding what your customer pain points are in a more granular level is really at the core. And most people, I think, sometimes kind of want to run before they start to crawl or walk. So really having that down is really important.
Good. So what are some of the books that you enjoyed reading?
I'm reading right now The Big Leap.
Okay.
It's about like upper limits. It's very interesting because I think sometimes we can self-sabotage ourselves at different
Yes.
moments when we're kind of like a little fearful.
Correct.
I also am reading, and one of my friends just released a book called Wild Entrepreneurs. I'm actually featured in the book. This is sweet of her.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But it's really powerful because there's so many stories of entrepreneurs around the world who have had these moments of, doubt or insecurity,
Yes.
etc., and being able to fight through that and like not even fight through it necessarily, but gracefully understand it's a calling and that they can do it. And so I just love reading the book personally just for those gems.
Well, I think you're right. And again, let's just go back to the analogy. A couple of things we have used in analogy. One is fetus, right?
Yes.
So we talked about birthing an idea.
Yeah.
Well, birth is never easy for any woman, and you will find out more about it than I will. I had kidney stone problem that was big enough for me, and I know people compare that, so I know the pain you can have, right? Excruciating pain. But also, if you look at a butterfly,
Right.
I mean, a pupa,
So wonderful.
the cocoon and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So you break through it. From what I understand, it's pretty painful for the insect
Yeah.
to become a butterfly, but look at the outcome,
Yes.
right?
I
And
couldn't
that's just
believe the
amazing.
pain with that too, actually, when I read about that. It's amazing.
It is amazing. But more important for all of us is to understand is that if you want something worthwhile, you have to become the person to attract it, and becoming the person is that personal development journey.
Yes. Oh my gosh, exactly. I love that quote by Jim Rohn. Success is what you attract by the person you become.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, see, I didn't know Jim
Yes.
said that, but that's exactly the point, and I think you are absolutely. So, how did you actually end up? I just want to get people to understand
Mm-hmm.
because there are people in your arena already, arena in the sense school, college, and other stuff. So what made you say, I'm going on a different path? Because I think people need to hear.
Yes.
Was it somebody you met, or how did that actually happen?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm getting chills as you're saying it. I really feel that my parents, and especially my father, I have to give credit for, has always really been a big advocate for myself and my sister to go into entrepreneurship. And as I was seeing what was happening in the world of media and journalism, and wanting so much to give young people who I was mentoring opportunities, and seeing even when I was on campus, my friends not getting opportunities, I really wanted to create a way to do so. And the more I developed and went further in my career, the more I thought, okay, this is really a big problem, and I really want to be the one to solve it, and hopefully to give other people opportunities that I didn't have.
Amazing, fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
So what's the next level of success for you that you would like to enjoy?
I really think just having a mindset of abundance and really focusing on that a lot more in all areas of my life, especially relationships, because I think I'm realizing more and more how time is so precious and how we're only here for a moment, and making the use of that. So that's really my big endeavor for the year, is really being more purposeful.
Well, I think that's a great idea for you as well. What is something fun you do?
I love oil painting.
Oil painting? Wow.
Yes, I actually have like a whole canvas set and everything. And I love just, painting, and it's just so relaxing to me. And I also like horseback riding, and yeah.
Well, that's amazing. And you grew up in Michigan most of your life?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I went to California for school, and then was on the East Coast for a little bit with journalism.
Well, that's very interesting. Good.
Thank you.
So who is the ideal client you're looking for right now to tap into?
Yeah, I think someone or customers who are very open-minded in terms of understanding that to leverage their brand content is the key. Especially every successful brand now has essentially become almost like a media company.
Yes.
And understanding too what they like doing, what they don't like doing. It's like some people like being on video, some people don't. Some people like writing, some people don't. So understanding that core, but really being excited about how content can change the brand, and also how they reach their customers.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah. And obviously, I would love to have people be able to contact you. So how do they get hold of you?
Yeah, they can actually go to our website. It's Rizzarr, RIZZARR.com. And they can email us at hello@rizzarr.com.
Oh, that's very interesting enough. And I think that's an easy one to remember as well.
Yeah.
So good. So any other parting thoughts, anything that we should have talked about that we didn't?
I just say the thing is for people to really believe in themselves, whether it's a customer like trying to figure out how they're going to get past a little hump, or even a young entrepreneur thinking that, they're not sure how they can go about it, just to really believe in yourself, because I think anything is possible. It's just most of us, we get so in our own way that we forget that.
Yeah, I think the programming comes into play, and the programming usually is not good enough.
Exactly.
You're not ready.
Right.
You need more.
Yes.
You need this. You need a degree.
Right.
You need certification. You need some blessing of some people.
Yes.
And so on and so forth, which is really not the key. I think God gave us what we were looking for, not just a matter of using what we have already in place.
Exactly.
What a pleasure talking to you, Ashley. I hope you learned a lot from the energy enthusiasm of a young entrepreneur targeting millennials and Gen Z for communication with content creation with a company called Rizzarr.com. Thanks again, Ashley, for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
My pleasure as well.